What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. So, you just beat Resident Evil 3 Remake. Good job. But what do you get for winning? You'll notice a new shop section has opened up for business. The shop has all your unlockables as well as one new costume for Jill. You earn money for completing challenges in the records menu. The more you complete, the more fun stuff you can buy. RE3 Remake is built around gradual difficulty progression. Basically, the difficulties are designed around you getting these special weapons and items. Unlike Resident Evil 2 Remake, the special weapons do not affect your final ranking. There is no S+ rank in this game, thank God. Don't get me wrong, you can totally beat the higher difficulties without these items. But it's gonna be a nightmare. You basically need to live and breathe RE3 and its mechanics for these new difficulties. To unlock everything, you're going to need to beat all the harder difficulties, so let's talk about those first. You start with the basic difficulties, Assisted, Standard, and Hardcore. Hardcore is best equated to Resident Evil 2 Remake's normal difficulty. It's a little tougher, the enemies hurt more and take a few extra hits. Ammo is a little more scarce, and when you craft ammo, you now receive less than Standard. You're also locked in when you choose Hardcore, so no prompts to lower the difficulty if you're dying a lot. You better toughen up for this one and get familiar with the dodge to help with Nemesis. When you beat Hardcore, you unlock Nightmare. The enemies hit harder and take more punishment. This mode continues the recent RE game staple of the harder difficulty switching item and enemy locations, so be sure to explore. Crafting also gets you even less than Hardcore, and you'll be picking up less ammo in general. Nemesis has also got his running shoes on, because he is a lot faster than in previous modes. The more practice you get with the dodge in the previous difficulties, the better, because most enemies bring you down to danger with one hit. This is a rough one. Beating Nightmare unlocks Inferno. This mode is Capcom including an unfair difficulty. Every enemy hits like a dump truck to the face, and some of them just straight up deal lethal damage. And they could take so much punishment. You get even less ammo in the field, and with crafting, so your shots have to count. Nemesis just actively sprints at you, and his attacks are quicker than ever, so please get good with those dodges. Speaking of dodges, your dodges now only work if they are perfect dodges. Look, let's be honest, you're probably going to be dying a lot, but know that Capcom has your best interest in mind with this mode. It removes some of the typewriters and disables autosaves. What? Actually, correction. There is one autosave in the entire campaign. Check it. There's your autosave. Have fun. Because you're going to have to go through all the difficulties in order to unlock everything, how do you make this easier? The shop has plenty of items to make these more manageable, but you'll have to grind for them. I mean that literally and figuratively. Capcom was hoping you'd play this game more than 5 times, I'm guessing. My suggestion is do an assisted run that is strictly for doing some of the more grindy challenges. There are 15 records that have to do with killing enemies and killing them with specific weapons. These challenges stack and also do not have to be done over multiple playthroughs. RE3 Remake has this fun little quirk where it counts kills no matter which save you're on. You can find a grind spot, kill a bunch of zombies, reload your save, and keep going until you unlock them. The 2 grinding spots I opted for were the Hospital Siege section to help with handgun, assault rifle, and overall kills, and the start of the lab section for shotgun, magnum, and grenade launcher. These challenges are worth a lot of points overall, like over 100k. You can buy whatever you want with that money. These will help with the ranking challenges, so just put on a podcast and kill a bunch of zombies for about an hour or so. You have the regular difficulty completion challenges, you get 1 per difficulty, but you also have ones asking for perfection, that dreaded S rank. They're looking for beating the game quickly and with a small amount of saves. Standard and Nightmare are looking for 2 hours or less with 5 or less saves. Hardcore surprisingly asks for 1 hour 45 with 5 or less saves? I don't know what's going on there, but maybe it's because it's the harder one after Standard, I don't know. These are very doable, especially with the new weapons you unlock, and if you're going for 100%, you should be well acquainted with where all the enemies spawn, so you can either kill them or avoid them. By the time you reach Nightmare, you should have at least 1 overpowered weapon unlocked, so that'll help with the ammo issue and new placement in Nightmare and Inferno. Just like with Resident Evil 2 Remake, using a continue keeps the timer going, so I'd suggest reloading your save to replenish your time. Inferno is asking for under 2 hours with 5 or less saves, but there are no autosaves, so you'll get kicked back to your last save point but the clock will still be ticking. Do a manual save reload if that comes up to save time. My advice is to plan out which saves are crucial and practice certain sections if need be. The main saves I used were after the power plant, so I wouldn't have to deal with the Drain Demos, and it's right before a Nemesis chase, and right before bosses. So Nemesis with the flamethrower on the roof, Nemesis 2 near the clock tower, before Nemesis 2 in the lab, and before Nemesis 3. So let's talk about what you can buy from the shop and see what will make your climb up the difficulties easier. The first item in the shop is a new costume for Jill that represents her look from the original Resident Evil 1. There was also Jill's costume from Resident Evil 3 and Carlos's old hairstyle. But wouldn't you know it, those two are locked behind a DLC pack or if you pre-order the game. Wow. I'm gonna just say only having 2 costumes and only a new hairstyle for Carlos is such a letdown, especially since the original RE3 had so many costumes to unlock, and even Resident Evil 2 Remake had a bunch of costumes to unlock and download. What gives? There are 3 different coins to purchase in the shop, and you can buy 2 of each. The recovery coins are just what you think. Hold on to one of these to gradually get your health back. You can go from danger back to fine if you wait long enough, about 20-30 seconds. Buying both coins just speeds up the healing process. They're actually better than the auto healing from assisted mode. That one only heals 1 stage. These are great for the higher difficulties when the game gets stingy with the healing items. These are very helpful when going for the achievement for using 1 or fewer healing items. The Iron Defense coins increase your defense. Look at that. You can take more hits. So basically, the lethal enemies in Nightmare and Inferno become normal by comparison. While I was doing my Nightmare run, Nemesis 3 is extremely fast and has a stupid bullshit 1-2-3 hit that kills you immediately if you don't dodge. Even after buying both coins, I still got mulched, but his other attacks didn't hurt as much, so that helped. These are paramount for doing the final 2 difficulties if you're not good with that dodge, or if you just want a little bit of security. The Assault coins increase your damage. Since everything becomes made of titanium in higher difficulties, these give you a fighting chance and help you not only kill the enemies quicker, but to not use as much ammo. The biggest advantage I've seen with these is actually the hospital survival section. You actually have a great chance now and have a bit more leeway with your shots if you don't have an infinite weapon yet. The crafting companion gives you more ammo when crafting. This one is self-explanatory and is very helpful in hardcore. The only thing I'd see as a disadvantage is space. You don't have to carry it with you everywhere, but that means you'll have to stop at an item box to craft ammo. Still, having more of whatever you're crafting is nice. The STARS Field Combat Manual makes your perfect dodges easier. This should never leave your side in Nightmare and Inferno. Since Inferno needs perfection, making it easier just stops death for a few extra seconds. This can also help if you're having trouble dodging in the first place. The lockpick and bolt cutters are for skipping having to get them in the game. No joke. If you need the extra ammo behind the chain door, well, now you don't have to wait. It's a shortcut to more items in the early game. The shop also has 2 hit pouches for sale, so now you have 4 extra slots for all those items you got early. This will probably be one of the first things you purchase because it's just useful. Keep in mind that these will not show up in assisted mode because that difficulty already gives you more space for free. Now let's talk about the fun weapons. Some good, some bad, but seriously, let's talk about them. The Hot Dogger is such an odd item because the only thing it does is set enemies on fire and deal knife damage. It's nice, but you are held back by a knifing stance and range. I'd really consider this a for fun weapon in the game because the only practical use I found for it is to knife downed enemies to save a little bit more ammo. In the higher difficulties, I wouldn't recommend it at all, since everything hurts so much. Just save it for the fun runs, or if you happen to down an enemy. The Staples Samurai Edge returns, and this one is a beauty. Unlike the Resident Evil 2 Remake version, this handgun has fantastic fire rate, quick aim, and does quite a bit of damage. The downside is that it doesn't have infinite ammo. Oh, boo-hoo. That being said, it's a great gun to use in the first 3 difficulties, and even in Nightmare if you also have the crafting companion. A good stepping stone before you get to the big boys. The MUP handgun is your infinite handgun for this game, and it is so average. If you need something to kill zombies or dogs and you don't want to waste ammo, this is the gun for you. I'd stick with the Samurai Edge personally, but if you really need to rep your boy Hunk, go for it. The Infinite CQBR Assault Rifle is the exact same as Carlos' Assault Rifle, but with infinite ammo. The only downside to this is you can't use the upgrades that Carlos gets, so it's just the default AR with infinite ammo. It's cool, I guess. This is a for fun weapon, definitely, but on the other hand, it can still take out a lot of lower enemies. Zombies, parasites, dogs. It can help you reserve ammo in the harder difficulties. Enjoy spraying bullets. Okay, I love and hate this next one. The Raiden is an Umbrella-produced energy weapon that has amazing stopping power. If you hit a weak point... There's always a catch with these silly OP weapons, isn't there? This gun has about a 2-second reload time, and it deals 0 damage if you do not hit a weak point. This kinda sucks. But at the same time, if your aim is great, this weapon is fantastic in a pinch. Doing a perfect dodge lets you auto-aim on an enemy's weak point, so when fighting Nemesis, you can get some powerful shots off if you make those dodges. I mean, if the camera cooperates after the dodge and you aim, of course. It's fun, but only in the right situations. The last one, you knew it was coming. The fuck you I win weapon. The Infinite Rocket Launcher. Self-explanatory, you wreck shit with this. Nemesis, not an issue anymore. Kinda. Even in harder difficulties, you could just aim at the ground to stop him from dodging the rocket and still deal damage. Nothing stands a chance. Go hog wild and enjoy getting those S ranks because this is the first thing I unlocked. Look, I don't have as much free time as I used to, so buying the rocket launcher first helped me with Nightmare and Inferno with their S ranks. Even with the rocket launcher, Nemesis can still put up a fight, so it isn't the cakewalk you think it is. It just makes it easier. After all is said and done, the challenges give you the perfect amount to buy everything in the shop. So enjoy unlocking everything. But if you don't have the time to play this game forever... Just like in Resident Evil 2 Remake, you can make all of this grinding obsolete for the low price of $4.99. It gives you everything. All shop unlocks, all the concept art, and all the models. Still a good option for those who need help or can't be bothered. Completing the challenges not only unlocks currency for the shop, but some of them also unlock concept art and models. The concept art is, oh boy, very damaging to this game's reputation, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the images show locations and situations from the original Resident Evil 3, but for whatever reason were not used or were underutilized in the final game. The clock tower in the background, the parking garage, the opening where Dario Rosso is. I do wish we got these locations recreated or expanded on, but it is what it is. I'll be showing the entire gallery at the end of this video. The models are high-quality figures of characters and monsters. I always love looking at these to see how much detail are in these creatures. So many squishy bits. There are 2 extra models included in the pre-order DLC pack, so if you want the RE3 outfit for Jill, you'll get a model too. This also goes for Carlos, which is very funny. Look at that doofy haircut. And that's all for the unlocks. Now get to beating this game over and over and unlock those goodies. Or, you know, just pony up $5 and unlock everything. I'm not your mom. You can make your own choices. I'm sure you're wondering how these special weapons make Inferno mode more palatable, so why don't we do another playthrough? Next time on Resident Evil 3 Remake, we'll be starting an Inferno playthrough with a friend to see what has changed and how difficult the game can get even with overpowered weapons. See you guys next time.
Stay.